So we keep on hearing that inflation's at record highs and gas prices keeps on rising each and every week. And everything else seems to be going up too, including the cost of your food. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 tips on what you can do to save money while grocery shopping. And no, I'm not going to be talking about cutting coupons unless you want to do so. But for me personally, that takes a bit too much time. So let's hop on straight into today's video. The first thing that I want to talk about is meal prepping. And you might be familiar with this concept where you plan your week out in terms of what you're going to eat, and you could have containers like this where you are properly apportioning the amount of food that you should be eating. It's not only good from a weight loss perspective or maintaining your weight goals or achieving your weight goals rather, but also from the perspective of being healthier, so you spend less money on going to the doctor. But what I want to touch on from this perspective is you know what you're planning to eat for the week, so you're only going to buy that food. Quite oftentimes we go out to the store, in the past rather, we've gone out to the store and we've purchased or bought chicken and beef and a couple of other items only for it to be a busy week at work or to be invited to dinner a few times, and we'd go. And then a week or two later, we look in the fridge and we identify, oh man, the chicken has gone off and we can't eat it, so we end up throwing it out. And we're actually wasting money. So if we plan our meals out accordingly and we actually make the meals and we're only buying the items that we know that we're going to eat, the chances of there being wastage or spoilage in terms of things that we're going to throw away is drastically reduced. The second thing I want to talk about is shopping with loyalty rewards in mind, as quite often you can get items at a lower cost. An example of this is we have a Kroger membership, right? So what we do is when we go to Kroger, you'll see the normal price and you'll see the member price. It's more often than not cheaper by having that membership. And you don't pay for it, but they're quite clever in terms of their marketing, so you can get 3 for the price of 2. But sometimes you don't need that extra one. If I just wanted one item, why do I need to buy 3 just so that I can get another one? So just bear that in mind. Yes, there are times where you are going to save and you can get things at a cheaper price, but always consider, do I need to buy the extra one? Because am I going to use it, or am I going to find myself in a position where I'm not going to use it and I'm going to have to throw it out later that week or sometime that month? The third thing that I want you to consider is shopping online and shopping with a list. This is very important because if you've got your list, you are going to make sure that you're only going to buy the items that you actually need and not be distracted by things that you don't need that's possibly on sale. Because if I know that I only have these things that I need to buy for this week, I'm going to stick to it. So whether or not you are able to shop online like we do with Walmart on the app or on the website, that's great. But if you're not able to do that and you have to go into a store in person, then make sure that you have a list so that you're only going to buy the items that you need. An example of a list might be on your phone or even on a book like this, where you can take this with you into the store and you can tick off as and when you buy the items that you have on your list. What we do is we also ensure that we do grocery pickup and we don't do the delivery option. Because yes, it is more convenient to have them deliver it out to you, but quite often there's going to be a delivery fee and these people are rendering a service to you, so you're going to have to pay a tip. I say have to, you don't have to, you never have to do certain things, but it's always a good gesture if somebody does deliver something to you to pay a tip. If you find yourself in a position where maybe things are a bit tight at the moment, then take advantage of online grocery orders, but where you can go and pick it up yourself. The fourth thing that you should consider is whether or not it makes sense to buy things in bulk. So we have a Costco membership, which enables us to buy things in bulk at Costco. You might have a Sam's Club membership, you might have a macro membership. So if you have the ability to buy by a wholesaler in your particular region, it might make sense. The reason I say it might make sense is you need to consider what you are buying. For us personally, it makes sense to be able to buy diapers, nappies for our youngest daughter. It makes sense to buy things like toilet paper, but it doesn't always make sense to buy certain perishable items in bulk because we are a family of 4, 2 young kids and 2 adults. And we're not always able to eat or consume everything that we buy, especially if you're buying it in bulk. And quite often when we have purchased things in bulk, which are perishable items, we haven't eaten it all, and as a result of that, it went to waste. So consider whether or not you should be buying in bulk, and if you are going to, are you going to be able to eat it Depends on the size of your family, depends on the time of year. It might be the festive season, Christmas time, or another holiday where it does make sense. You're expecting to have lots of guests, so it's good to be able to buy those items so that you can always have it on hand. But if it's a different time of the year, does it make sense? So always consider those factors. So before we move on to the next step, if you could do me a favor at this point in time, please click subscribe below if this video is helping you by any means, and consider sharing it with somebody that you know who could benefit from this video. The fifth thing that I want you to consider is buying store branded products. So growing up as a kid in South Africa, I had the stigma of I don't want to eat no-name brand products or store branded products. But I got the revelation several years later when I worked as a financial manager at a large company in South Africa that produced cereals, which was distributed through stores throughout the country. And I grew up eating the cereal, or this brand of cereal. But as I was walking on the floor at one of our plants one day, I saw our brand of cereal, which I ate my whole life. And then I saw the other box, and I was like, what is this doing here? On close inspection, it was the same thing, just packaged in the store's box and not the manufacturer, our box. And I realized it was the same product, and for years we'd been buying this particular item, paying more, whereas we could have been buying this other item and paying less, and I would have gotten the exact same product, but I didn't know. So with that in mind, now my family, as an example, we like granola bars. So we eat different brands of granola bars, and I'll just show you real quick. I've got the Walmart version over here, the Great Value, and then I've got the Costco, the Kirkland brand over here. And actually wouldn't be surprised if these particular products over here, or one of them at least, is made by my other favorite producer of granola bars. The sixth thing to consider is perishable foods. So make sure that you are only buying things that you actually need in your grocery period, or for that week or for that month, that you know that you're actually going to eat. Because if you don't, as I've already mentioned, you stand the chance of throwing things away. But why do I bring this up again? Because when it comes to perishable foods, quite oftentimes there's a convenience factor built into the cost too. So an example of this might be, let's say you like barbecue or grilling at home, or braaiing as we call it in South Africa. So what could happen is you could buy the marinated meats, and as a result of that, you end up paying 30 or 40% more had you just bought the meat yourself and seasoned it yourself. Another example of this is buying cut up fruits, so where they cut it up in small packages for you so that you don't have to chop it up yourself. You're going to be paying a lot more, whereas if you just bought the actual fruit, whether it's a pineapple or strawberries, and you cut it up yourself, you actually paying a lot more just for them doing it for you. The seventh thing that I want to talk to you about is using rebate apps like Ibotta or Rakuten, Fetch Rewards. There's a whole host of them. You can Google it. I'm sure the region that you find yourself in your country, there's some form of reward app out there or rebate app out there where you can scan your receipt, and in return you could earn gift cards, which you could then use to maybe buy food again. So do yourself a favor, pause this video real quick, or after this video, write this down real quick, and then you go and search what rebate apps are available in your region and start using it. Because whether you make $10 a month, 100 Rand a month, 150 Rand a month, or 300 a month, you could then use that money to buy food. So as we wrap this video up, I want to share a few bonus points or tips with you. Number one, consider whether or not you should be buying food with a credit card. And before you say, hey, we don't use credit cards, I'm not telling you should or should not. But if you are somebody that does, this applies to you, because I personally believe if you do use a credit card, you pay it off immediately at the end of the month, and you don't use the credit card to float your lifestyle. But if you do have a credit card, I want you to consider whether or not you've got the right credit card in the season. As an example, I know lots of people that have credit cards that rewards you with air miles, but if you know that you're not going to be traveling for the next year or two, does it make sense to have a credit card that rewards you like that? Or should you rather have a credit card which rewards you in the forms of cash back? So you could use the cash to then buy more groceries. So just consider the type of credit card that you have and the type of rewards that you're getting. Another one, while we're on credit cards real quick, is shop around for a credit card that might give you a $0 annual fee. So you don't really have to be paying an annual fee for your credit card. There's lots of credit card companies out there that once your business, they might offer you the credit card without you having to pay a fee. And in turn, you're still going to get great cashback rewards or other rewards which you could use on a day-to-day or monthly basis. The second bonus point I want to talk about is having a meat-free day or days in a week. Not only is it good from a health perspective to eat less red meat, but you could and you can save a lot of money by cutting out meat during the course of the week. An example of this is I like meat, right? So I used to buy ribs at one of the stores that we shop at, and it used to cost $14 not even 6 months ago. It's up to $24 6 months later. So I've cut that out of my lifestyle, not because I can't afford it, but I don't need to be buying that every week. Once in a while, I'll buy it, but I don't need to be buying it every week. The next thing that I want to touch on real quickly as we draw to an end in this video is taking your own lunch to work. You might say, but I do that. Or you might say, I just don't know how to cook, or I don't have the time. Guys, you don't have to be eating out every single lunch break. You don't have to be going down to the coffee shop if you have one close to your work every single break. It's okay to do it from time to time, but the reality of it is with the cost of things rising on, as I said, an almost weekly basis, maybe now's the time to start packing lunch. And even if it's only 3 days a week and you eat out 2 other days a week, or packing lunch 4 days a week and you eat out 1 day a week, so you can still have your fun. But what this is going to result in is you actually saving money, which you can either apply towards debt, you could either apply towards your goals, or you could buy more groceries in return. And then the final thing that I want to just touch on as we wrap up this video is maybe you could sign up for a free trial with one of those meal kit or preparation companies where they send you a box of food to your house, and at the end of the working day, you just come home and you just pop it in the oven and it's good to go. I share this, it might work for you, especially if you are busy. Sometimes those can be more costly than making your own food, but maybe from a convenience perspective, it might make sense to you. So test it out. There's lots of free trials out there. You could even do a few free trials with one company and then another company and cancel a trial before you actually have to sign up, and you could get some free food that way too. So as we wrap up this video, guys, if any of these tips spoke to you, if you're going to start applying any of these tips in your life, comment below 1 or 2 of the things that you're going to start doing. If there are other things that you are doing that's helping you to save money from a grocery perspective that I haven't mentioned, comment below, because again, as I've indicated before, I'm here to learn too, and I'm sure the viewers out there would benefit greatly from your wisdom too. So for more videos like this, as I said, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to catching up with you on a video soon. Bye guys. God bless.